What's up, guys? Frugal BC here, and today I want to tell you why cars are not frugal and talk about my $600 car repair bill. So, this week I had to get my car repaired. What happened was I went to start it on a Monday morning, was actually taking it to get an oil change, and wouldn't you know, it wouldn't start. Well, that wasn't completely a surprise because it's been below zero here in the middle of Wisconsin. It's very cold. And so it wasn't a total surprise. So I said, called the mechanic and said I was going to be a little later, um, or asked if they had a later appointment, thinking I could get the car warmed up by then. The sun would warm up, and so I did that, and it was still the same thing. It still wouldn't start. Eventually, the next day, this was Tuesday now, I had to call my dad and have him give me a jump start to get my car going. I don't know, you guys probably all recognize this. You've probably been through this when your car doesn't start. There's like that feeling in your gut like that something is unresolved and you feel a little bit stuck. Now, I'm a big fan of riding my bicycles, and it's actually kind of amazing that I haven't spoken about riding bicycles so far because it is such an important part of my transportation. I've only driven 2,000 miles in 2020. I typically only do 7,000, but with the pandemic, I actually did less. But I was coming in from my oil change. I was now getting close to 3,000, and I wanted to get that done. I wanted to get that taken care of, and I couldn't start my car well. So it turned out the battery. Well, every time you take your car to the repair shop, they find something new. Probably, in all fairness, probably stuff that should have been caught earlier, maybe, but they always find all these things. So it turned out my battery was dead. The jump start basically got it to the garage, and they had to jump it again to actually get it into the mechanics room or whatever. And also the brakes, there was a problem with the brakes, and I noticed a little squeak sometimes, and then if I tapped the brakes, the squeak went away. So it turned out that was one of the pads, but not both of the pads going bad. So they had to replace that. They replaced the rotor too. They didn't tell me they were going to do that, but I guess it's one of those things where you got to replace it all at once. And it was just a reminder of like when you think about the cost of cars, you have to think beyond just like what you're paying monthly. It's things like gas and stuff. The maintenance is a real thing to consider. And all things considered, so I own a Mazda 3, and it's been a great car. I've had it since 2014. I bought it outright, brand new. I know people are gonna come at me with some Mr. Money Mustache stuff. I get it, but I bought it in cash through an inheritance that was specifically earmarked for buying a new vehicle for myself and my sister from a deceased family member. So my thought is if I have the option to get one brand new that's never had another owner, that would be the most frugal option for me, is to take advantage of that and get something brand new. That way I know that only I have owned it and that it should be a solid car, and it has been. I specifically chose the Mazda 3 because it was rated really well for reliability. Really, it gets really good gas mileage. I'd really have to go into something like an electric car to get a lot better, which I would love to do. That probably will be my next vehicle if I still have one. I think I'll kind of have to. It's kind of hard in Wisconsin not to have a vehicle. So that's my plan. So I do plan to get that. But in the meantime, the Mazda 3, it's been a great car. But here's the thing, it's still going to cost you at sometimes because you're going to get those times when the maintenance adds up. And sometimes it kind of comes all at once. So, I had a $600 repair bill. And I think there's another lesson here, and that lesson is because I only live on half of my income, then when things like this come along, it's less about clamping down and just not being able to invest maybe that month or even one pay period. Honestly, it won't affect me too much. So, as you know, a lot of you know if you watched, I changed my trip last time from going to Colorado to going to Iron Mountain, Michigan. And the difference there is I saved a lot of money on the hotels and accommodations. And because of that, I'm getting some credits back. So actually a lot of that car bill would be covered by the credit I get back. I was hoping that was going to cover, the new trip plus a little bit extra, but now instead it's going to cover the car repair bill. But that's okay, because this is why I live frugally, so that when these things come up, I have the money for it. It's not an issue. Like, it still sucks. No one wants to get a $600 car repair bill. It could be a lot worse, but nobody wants that. It sucks. It's a bummer. But it's way better than $600. When I was 20, that $600 repair bill would have killed me. I would have had to put it on my card, and I put this on my card. I use cards because it's like, why worry about having the right amount of cash or having the right amount of money in your bank account? I just put it on my card and I pay the card off right away. I'll probably do a video on credit cards, proper credit card use too. But this is one of the benefits of living frugally, is that when these situations come up, you are ready to handle it. And this is one of the benefits of getting your finances in order. So it was a stressful situation this week. Fortunately, I worked at home Monday. I had to go in the afternoon on Tuesday, and I have a very flexible work schedule. I kind of just have to get the work done. I don't really have a schedule. So, but I do have to be in the office Tuesday afternoon because there's certain things I have to do on a certain computer. It's a long story. But anyway, this could have been a much more stressful situation had I also had to worry about the money part of it. In this case, it was just, here's what needs to be done. Go get it done. It's done. And it sucks that I'll be investing less this month than I normally would, but at least I don't have that stress. So that's my lesson from today's car repair bill. I picked it up today. They gave me a loaner car. That's why I'm doing the video today. Car repair bills suck. If you can avoid needing a car, I think it's a good thing. Or even fewer cars. If you're like if you're a couple, you really need one car, that can save a lot of money. And, if one person bikes a lot or you carpool, that's a good way to save money. It won't work for everybody. It kind of depends on your work situation, what you have going on. Do you have kids, and do you need access to a vehicle at all times for those kids? There's a lot of things to think about. I'm a single person. My job, I need it for my job. If I didn't need it for my job, I'm not sure if I would have a car, to be honest. There's plenty of services like Uber and stuff that I could use for occasional trips that would save me a lot of money. I just paid my license and registration too, and now with the wheel tax in our county, that's over $100. It used to be $75. This stuff just keeps going up. So that's my car rant for today. It's a long one, I know. Hope you liked it. Hit the like and subscribe button if you made it this far, and we'll see you next time.